Okay, in this class I'm going to look at inputting data to your calculator and calculating certain descriptive statistics. The calculator I'm going to be using is this Casio FX83 GTX, which is the recommended calculator within the school. I've been trying to find some of the older versions of the Casio calculator. I can't find any around. If I do, I'll try to put a video up about those, but for the moment this is the one you're looking at. Okay, so if you have this up-to-date one, if you don't, you're going to have to figure out really how to do this yourself. A lot of the things will be the same. The first thing I'm going to look at is inputting a data set. So maybe I might just choose to input a data set, a list of data, let's say 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, the first 5 prime numbers, right? I'm going to input those in a list into my calculator. So it's a list of data. How do I do it? Okay. Well, the first thing I want to do when I'm inputting data is to clear my memory. And the reason I do that is to just get rid of any old data that has been stored in there before. So to clear my memory, I'm going to press, first of all, this button, the Shift key, and then I'm going to press the 9 key. You can see the Shift function, it says on top of it, is reset, and then you get a reset menu. You've got setup data, memory, or initialize all. I'm going to press this button down here to initialize all, and then it says initialize all. Equals is always the enter key, so the next button, the fourth thing I'm going to press is this, my equals key down here, and then it says reset, initialize all. Okay, so it's now reset. I just have to press my all clear key, and I do that, and that has cleared the memory. So step 1, again, there's the keys in order: 1, the Shift key; 2, the 9 key; 3, the 3 key; 4, the equals key; 5, the AC key. That's the all clear key, and that gets rid of all the saved data that has been in there. If you don't get rid of that, you might end up putting your data in on top of some old data, and then that can affect your calculations. Okay. So the first thing, always clear your memory. Before you input data, clear your memory. Okay, so that's an important thing. Always clear the memory before you input data, and you do that when you're moving from question to question. The next thing I'm going to look at is putting in a list of data points. Okay, so I'm going to put in a list of data points. So I'm going to start by hitting my menu key. That's the first key I hit. Again, I'll do it as before. So first key I hit is my menu key. That's that one there. My memory key, key number 1, that's the one I hit. And I have a whole load of options. I can either, hit the number 2, or I can scroll across till I get to 2 and I get to statistics. So you can either hit button number 2, or you can scroll to the right. There's your scroll keys. These are your scroll keys in here. You can scroll to the right to get across to statistics, and once you're there, you hit equals. Okay, so different options. Press the menu key and then scroll to the right. When you hit statistics, just hit 2 and you're in. Okay, or you can just, probably the quickest way to do it is just first of all hit your menu key and then hit your number 2 key, and you go straight in there. Okay, so first button your menu, second button your number 2, because the statistics function in the calculator is your second choice on your menu. Okay, once I've done that, I have a list of options. Again, I have single variable. I've got y equals a plus bx. I've got y equals a plus bx plus cx squared. Y equals a plus b times the natural log of x. And if you scroll down, you've got other things: y equals a times e to the power of bx, etc. But if I'm just looking at inputting a set of data like this, this is a single variable. You know, maybe I asked 5 people, how many texts did you receive yesterday? And one person said 2 texts, another person said 3, somebody said 5, somebody said 11, or 7, somebody said 11. Maybe that's my data. There's only one single question generating one single variable, so I'm going to input single variable data. So I'm just going to hit the number 1 over here. So the third button I hit will be the number 1, and you get a little table up there. Okay, so let me just run through that again very quickly. Always clear your memory, and again, that clearing the memory step will just always reset your calculator to your original factory settings. So to go to statistics, mode, press menu, number 2 for statistics, and then your third button you're pressing is that number 1 key, and you get a menu. Okay, to input the data 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, I'm going to just hit the button, the number, and then equals is the enter key. So one thing to remember is that your equals key is your enter key. So 2, enter, 3, enter, 5, enter, 7, enter, 11, enter. And now you have a table of values there. And it just has on your screen, you have X is my variable that I'm putting in, and then it just tells you the row numbers, rows number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it goes on there, it keeps going. But we've put in our random variables, our values for X are 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. So that's what your calculator has on it now. It goes down to 6, and then you'll go back. And you can move through that data by using your scroll keys here. There's your up key, down key, so you can move through that data. That's how you input a list of data into your calculator. Really straightforward. Okay, the second thing I'm going to talk about is just inputting a frequency table. Suppose instead of a list, it had all been tidied up into a frequency table. So let me write out a frequency table, and then we'll talk about putting it in. So suppose I want to input a frequency table. I'm given in a question a frequency table with some random variable and frequencies, you know. Let's just say X is 2, 3, 5, 7, and suppose the frequencies with which they occur are 5 once, 3 times, and then 4 times. So altogether, the number of things in my list, 5, 6, 9, and 4, 13. So if I was to write this big list of stuff out, there would be the first 5 entries in my list would be all 2s, then the next entry would be a 3, and then the next 3 entries would be 5s, next 4 entries would be 7, giving me 13 entries in the list altogether. Now I could put in that list as I did just a second ago, as I could write out the list and then put it in. So, you know, get your table and put in the number 2 5 times, 2, enter, 2, enter, 2, enter, 2, enter, etc. But that's a little bit time consuming. So one thing we can do is we can set our calculator up to take frequency. So in order to put this table in, again we're going to start by clearing the memory. Okay? And remember to clear the memory and to get back to your factory settings, shift, the 9 key, the 3 key, the equals key, and then the all clear key. Okay, that's the order you do them in. Again, notice the shift instruction. Shift is the yellow writing above the key. Alpha gives you the red writing above the key in some cases. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is clear the memory. Now I'm going to put in my data, but I have to set my calculator up to take a frequency table. So in order to set my calculator up to take a frequency table, So in this case, we're going to look at setting up a frequency table. So at the moment, the calculator is not set up to take frequency, so we have to set it for frequency. So this is what we're going to do, setting my calculator for frequencies. Okay, so in my main screen, I'm going to hit my Shift key. That's the first thing I'm hitting. And then my menu setup key. So that's allowing me to change the setup. And so I'm going to change the setup. I'm going to set the calculator up to take frequencies. And I have a list of 4 things on my calculator at the moment. Input, output, angle unit, number format, fraction result. It's none of those. So I'm going to scroll down. And option number 1 there is statistics. So what I'm going to do is choose option number 1. That's the next key I hit. Statistics. I'm going to choose that one. And now it says frequency on off. Number 1 to put the frequency off. So that's the next button I hit. I hit that twice. So let me just write in for the 4th time I hit it, and the 5th time is going to be there. And once I do that, that is set up now to take frequencies. So when I hit menu, statistics, as I was before, single variable, now you'll get an option to put in a frequency table. So once I've set it up for frequency, I, as before, just do the same thing. Okay? Menu, number 2 for statistics, number 1 for single variable statistics. And now I have my little table here, which is, almost exactly as I have it written here, except they've included the row number. So row number 2, row number 2, row number 3, row number 4, etc. And I'm going to input those things in. I'm going to put in all my X values first. 2, enter, 3, enter, 5, enter, 7, enter. And then I'm going to put in my frequencies. 5, 1, 3, 4. And that's in my calculator now. Okay? So it gives you a 5th row. Notice it does not include that thing I have down the bottom there. But that is put in. I've got a frequency table in there. So that is how we input data into our calculator. In our next lesson, we'll talk about calculating descriptive statistics. So practice that. Go through your textbook, chapter 8, look for frequency tables. Can you put them in? Look for lists of data, put them in. Practice those things. Any questions? Send me a message.